Says here, UN and Bill Gates launch 50 IN5 global digital infrastructure plans. Matter of fact, maybe it's the article we're going to. It's not, the article hasn't come out on here. But yeah, that's very interesting. All right, but let's get into it. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. And here we are here once again. Okay, as you can see in the name of the live, stay alert. Okay, stay alert because you got a lot of things that are going on. You know, a lot of a major part of the agenda is being pushed heavily, okay, upon in the earth right now, and it's important that we stay very vigilant, okay, and watching and being wise. As a matter of fact, let's start with that in the book of, I think it's in Ephesians 5 and maybe 13, 14, 15. Okay, as the scriptures say, you know, we have to. Cool. And if the audio, you know, the audio is not good or clear, you know, just let us know. But pretty much what I was saying, right? The scriptures warn us, you know, about being circumspect, okay, and redeeming the times because the days are evil. So we know that the closer we get to the end of this society, the closer we get to the end of this kingdom, the more evil things are going to be, because this devil is gonna come down with all sorts of vengeance because he's running out of time, you know. So they gotta start making their moves. They can't always just keep on trying to push one. What they're gonna do is they're gonna try to control the narrative one way or another, and that's why now they're pushing for a lot of things like internet censorship. You know, they're pushing for restricting all these so-called freedoms that are in their so-called constitution. They're trying to restrict all of that. Okay, and they're trying to make it seem as though they're not openly doing that, but that's exactly what they're doing. I think it was Nikki Haley that came out and said that in order what she's proposing is that in order for you to use the internet, you need to be verified, meaning you got to have your actual real ID, you know, your identification for you as an individual linked with your social media account, so that they know exactly who you are. And that way, she's saying that that's going to make it to where things are more transparent. So if somebody posts something or they like something or they ascribe to something online, we all know who it is, you know? And that way, if you're really about it, you know, then you're gonna do what you're gonna do, knowing that your parents and your
Hey,
pastors.
Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, can you
Yeah, I
hear us?
can't. I can't hear you.
What about now? Can you hear us? Oh, this is interesting. All right. Can you hear us? Good now. Okay. All right.
God,
Con.
yep, yep. Yeah, y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All good.
Yapa. Dwadi
All
Yaba Shimon Shai. Shalom.
right. All right. The quality is a little better too. Thanks. Yeah, so like I was saying, you know, they're basically saying that on who was it, Nikki Haley, that basically if you want to use the internet, you gotta you know, you gotta identify, you have to be identified on the internet with using your actual ID, so they know exactly who you are. So that way, if you post something or you like something or you ascribe to something on the internet, they know exactly who it is doing it, and people are gonna be more it's gonna be more transparent. So that way people can't just create like 10 different accounts and go and say this and go and say that and go and try to do this, that, and the third. But when they come out and they say these things, and then they always push the the excuse that they know people are going to be down for, right? And they never. It's like them trying to get you to sign, or you buy a product, and then they give you these this long ass terms and conditions. They not when they commercialize these products, they don't show the terms and conditions in the commercial and tell you, oh, by the way, inside the terms and conditions, you actually have to do this. We can actually take the information we get from you, can sell it to third parties, and so on and so forth. No, what they do commercialize is how convenient it is. Aren't you tired of your battery dying on you? And now you can use this app and you can, conserve energy, yada, yada, yada. So that's the same thing they're doing here. They'll tell you this is to make sure that people don't just go and spam accounts and post horrendous things and then nobody knows who they are. But then they don't tell you about the fact that, okay, what about the invasion of privacy? What about how wrong this can actually go? And what about the fact that once it's enacted, it's going to be longer and more difficult for you to try and repeal that? Because the ones who are putting it in place have more power than you. And they're the same people you have to go through if you want to get this repealed. So once they put this in place, it's kind of like buying something versus getting a refund. The second you click pay, the circle goes around. In a few seconds, the money's out your account. That one is quick. But you go and tell them, look, you made an error, I need a refund. It'll take 3 to 4 business days. So weekends are not included. You got to wait that long for $5. And then don't let it be a Metro card, because I forget it at that point. But basically this is the agenda that they're pushing. Right? So let's get that. What you got? Yeah. Let me see.
Hey, I got a quick precept, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's the spirit that you brought that up, because I was actually going into that yesterday, doing some research on that whole net neutrality thing. If you brothers remember, years ago they were talking about that, and now that at that time it fell through. But now it's the time where they're coming back again, because that's one thing these devils always do, is that if they come in with an agenda for the first time and it doesn't work out, they don't just quit and it's over. Nah, they'll repackage the same thing and pitch it years down the line, by using or by correcting the things that they found faulty. Why the first time it didn't work out? You see, so the same thing with the whole CV 2020 all the way to 2022, 2023. What was the first thing they kept saying? They kept saying that this was a successful run, but the only thing we got to do more of is what? Monitoring social media platforms and what they call so-called misinformation, disinformation. That's just a term that they use, all right, to basically propagate against those who speak the truth. Okay, so now, because of what's going on in Israel and all this extra shit, they're using those things as a means to push faster and further, taking away people's ability to speak, all right, on these social media platforms, all right, and so on and so forth. So now they're basically making a man an offender for the word. That's what it's going to boil down to, all right, ultimately the famine of the word. Okay, and we see this coming a mile away. All right, let me get this quick precept here. All right, this is a book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, so they'll purposely put a chick like Nikki Haley, all right, to put her face out there, but in reality, she's not really the one coming up with all these ideas. Is she really passionate about these ideas? Hell no. But she's being put out there to say these things and make it seem like there was actually a problem. Oh, we need to find an internet safety bill. Internet safety bill where nobody has ever been harmed by the truth, ever. But all of a sudden, we have to create a problem so that they could bring about their solutions that they've always had from the beginning, but just couldn't come out right and just tell people, hey, we're just going to take away your freedom of speech and your freedom to own guns and so on and so forth, man. So that's how these devils come in a very conniving, cunning manner. All right, and those who fall for it, they're gonna fall right to their death. That's just what it is. And those who fight against it, it's gonna be a war. All right, but the Lord has equipped us for this war, man. All right, the spiritual war. All right, and as you can see, we're winning. Okay, so we got to just keep on doing what we're doing. All right, but you got it, brother.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, let's get that. What you got?
This is Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
So meaning that in your day to day, knowing the times that we're living in, you gotta move with wisdom. Okay, circumspectly meaning you're looking all around. All right, circum meaning round, and spect meaning to look or to spectate. Okay, so you gotta walk circumspectly, redeeming the days, the times, because the days are evil. So you know how evil things are. You gotta check everything out. You You can't just say, oh, that's just Nikki Haley. She's just spewing off whatever it is she want to say. Who cares, right? Guess what? At the end of the day, like the brother said, she's just a face. She's just a face that look when you play in chess, for example, right? You have different pieces on the chessboard, and at the end of the day, you may say, oh, that's just a pawn, but guess what? That pawn is being controlled by somebody. Somebody is moving that pawn. Somebody is moving that knight. You think, oh, it's not a threat unless unless the queen is out. No, it's a threat because the queen, the pawn, the bishop, the rook, they're all being controlled by the same person. So if you're looking at it to say, I'm gonna wait till this person moves the queen before I get threatened, you already lost. Okay, so that's what these devils are doing. They use their pawns in the front to basically push out this sort of information because pawns are expendable. She can say it and she can get ridiculed all she wants, but there's certain things that if you're in a higher position, they wouldn't want you to say because they actually need your credibility. So when the time comes, they can use that to push something, even more, something that takes more somebody in a higher authority to push. So these devils do everything strategically, and like the brother said, they run a lot of simulations. That's where the so-called live exercises come in. They run a lot of simulations, and from those simulations, they actually study. Okay, they have researchers and scientists, and they study and they see, okay, how did the people react to this? How did the people react to that? How did they, accept this or accept that? Water. And so on and so forth. And then from that, they come up with something more. So these devils, that's why the scriptures say that they are wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that you can hide from them. They made sure to set up surveillance cameras everywhere. And then when they, like I said before, when they set up the surveillance cameras, they didn't say we're gonna do this so we can watch you everywhere. Number one, they have cameras. A lot of your devices that you have cameras in them, right? They can operate those cameras without you knowing, because the light doesn't have to be on for the camera to be accessed. Okay, so they behind the scenes, they're actually able to turn on your camera whether you know it or not, and they can see what you're doing in there. All right, and so you thinking that if they don't have my permission, but they do have your permission. They made sure to get in those long ass terms and conditions, and they made sure to use other words. Okay, when these devils they're not okay. If you buy this car, you're basically giving us permission to come into your house and own everything in there. They will not tell you that way. They'll just say, this is a legally binding contract, and you give us freedom of will to execute upon that. Some bullshit,
Consent.
And you like consent. There you go. You can give us consent, to take necessary means in order to ensure the safety of the product. Oh yeah, that's fine. You can go ahead and do that because they know, especially to Jake, what Jake is going to sit down and say, I'm reading all this. Oh, okay. They said this is including this, that, and third. Look up what does that word mean. Okay, break it down. Oh, okay. What is that? Oh, okay. And how are they using it in here? Okay, this is what it means. Because you know what they do? For a freaking 50-page terms and conditions, every line is damn near worded in that way. So tell me who's going to sit down to do that, because it takes them a whole team. They have a whole team that puts together these things and reviews it using the language that they use. And you, just one individual, you're going to sit there. And you know what, too? Imagine you in the Apple store and you're about to buy some AirPods. And then, you're reading the shit and it says, okay, you got to download this software on your phone for you to use it. You're going to stand there for 5 hours reading and deciphering the software to say, oh, they said that in the terms and conditions, this is the thing here. I don't like it. Guess what? Even if you do find that, then that's going to be all right. You just can't download it then. So that's going to affect you. So even if you knew what the terms and conditions were saying, you still going to do it because you need the product. That was bad.
And that's how they're gonna bring in that MOTB. As you can see, they're making a pitch for it. You got Elon Musk now, with the so-called Neuralink. Let me put this thing here. He got the so-called Neuralink, and he's talking about he wants people to come in and test it out. Okay, so again, they're pitching it like it's some type of technological medical breakthrough, right? And that's how it starts. And guess who's gonna incorporate these things? Because once they work together, but they always make it seem like they're not working together. And that's one thing people are gonna catch on very quickly when reality hits, is that all these corporations are all in the same league, under the same power, looking for the same agendas and looking for the same goals. And all the goals are against the people. So
Yep.
if Elon Musk, when Elon Musk is successful, with putting this MOTB inside people's brains, all right, now you're going to have other companies who are going to be looking at this type of technology and saying, what are the benefits to this? So then the banking sector will appear. They'll show up and say, well, how can we incorporate this? We're going to save a lot of money. We're going to save a lot of time. And it's also it's such a quick thing that connects you to the whole system. This is the greatest technology that's ever been. Why don't we all put our money and time and effort into it? And that's how it's going to be. And it's going to be, like you said, it's just there. And if you're not part of it, then you just can't be in the system. And they've told you that. All right, I just did a video, it was a couple of days ago, something known as 50 and 5 agenda. Okay,
Oh wow, I just read a notification on that.
that's the
Right when we
spirit.
started.
That's
Yeah.
the spirit. There you go.
With
You
Bill
know,
Gates
and
in the UN, right?
what's that? What?
With Bill Gates in the UN, right?
Bill Bates. Yes, sir. That's
Yep.
right. Yep, yep. So you have that going on, right? And now they're talking about the internet control. Okay, having these rules and regulations that are going to be popping up very soon. It's kind of interesting with the timeline because you have May of 2024, which is in a few months from now, because time moves very fast. A few months from now, all right, we're gonna be. They said they're gonna be basically voting on this one accord endemic treaty with the Hudat. Okay, and that pretty much gives them totalitarian power over 194 countries. Okay, what they call nations. you know, so that's the beast system being erected right in your face. Okay, and they're not gonna just put that kind of thing out there. It's gonna be run through technology. The social contract. All right, where you have the track and trace and all this extra shit, it's all gonna come into play. All right, you might want to go watch this movie Songbird. All right, it shows you COVID 2024, 2025, all that shit. They have an agenda and they're gonna push that shit. And that's why the men of the Lord very soon they're not gonna have us. All right, when the Lord is not gonna have us here much longer. Okay, because these things are happening and they're happening fast. All right, every single day we wake up, things are happening quick, man. It's like every couple of weeks something new comes on. All right, I don't know if you brothers have seen the advertisement of the former Apple employee who just came up with this new device. It's called Humane. Okay, it's always some funny shit, some inhumane shit called Humane, right? And they have this small little device, and it's like a camera, and you put it on your chest, right? And basically, you could talk to this device. If you want to translate, a different language, it can do that for you. You could speak to it, right? You could in your palm, it has this haptic thing in the palm where you could just be like this, tapping your hands, and you see information pop in your palm, man. Okay, so that's all that Black Mirror shit that is being brought into the mainstream to make it acceptable to have that technology be merged into man. That's all they need to do. The MOTB mentality, once it's fully cemented, you're gonna see that reality, man, because the technology is already there. So it's just a little bit of time left, man, but we getting there and we getting there fast.
Yeah, well, the Lord said, knowledge shall be increased. And when you look at the rate at which they were able to develop this technology, it's on a very, very fast rate. But at the same time, the knowledge of the Lord on the right hand side has been increased. Now, what you mentioned earlier too. I was reading some information about this too, which is that they said that there are a lot of companies now that are not advertising on X anymore because Elon Musk came out and made some anti-sem statements or support, for some anti-sem. So basically now they're saying, all right, we're gonna basically boycott X because I think Apple and some other company as well because of what you did, and being that you're the top dog over there, pretty much own X. That's what that speaks to. Now, what's interesting about that is it sort of reminds me of something similar to that January 6th situation, where they basically used an event to basically what's the word I'm looking for? To reduce the status of or increase the power that they can use against even somebody like Trump, because he was the president at the time. So they basically said, look, it doesn't matter if you're the president. We're going to be able to even censor you. And they used that event to do that. So now what this makes me think of is if they are now saying we're not going to be advertising on X because of what you said, that's sort of opening the door for them to now come against actual social media platforms. And they might just use this as a precedent. To say that it doesn't matter if you own this platform, there are certain rules and regulations. As a matter of fact, we may need to modify it so that any social media platform has to now conform to these rules and regulations, because then you're promoting this sort of violent behavior in the world. And before you know it, it might start with X. And it's interesting how they call it X. You know, he came and changed the name to X. But they might start with X and then they just go start getting after all these other platforms. And before you know it, because guess what? When we set up here, the sign has obviously the name of Israel on there, right? It has the 12 tribes and so on and so forth. Anybody that sees it that may be a Muslim or maybe anti-ish people, when they see that, they're gonna look at the sign, they're gonna look at you with disdain because they're gonna think that we are supporting the 48ers, right? Because of that. So whenever they hear anything about the Israelites, which they call the Black Hebrew Israelites, they deem it as this is either going to be anti-Sem or some pro-Sem something. Okay, so on the anti-Sem front, these social media platforms are going to say we can't have your content on here. You know, based on the precedent that was set by X, we had to shut them down. So now we're going to make sure that all these other platforms are being regulated, and that's why Nikki Haley is saying the shit that she's saying. That this way you can't have accounts with names like I don't know, spiritual warrior 144. Who's that? Because they're able to go by that and post some content on here and stuff. Who is that? We need to know what your name is. Frank Tom Jameson, you know, Michelson. That's Frank Michelson. You got to put your name as Frank Michelson. So if you post this, we know who you are, we know where you live, Frank, and we know your family members too. You know, that's
Hey,
pretty much what we're doing.
real quick. I remember a couple years ago. Remember that video we put up together about what's that? David Goldberg, where he talked about what
Project Cypher?
these Project Cypher. There you go. Yep. And in the testimony, he talked about how they're gonna go into something known as TTID. And I always bring this up because I've actually studied that shit. You know, I actually went into it, and it makes sense because we're seeing it happen. You know, and I feel like these people just don't talk about these things because it's happening, man. But basically, this whole new push for everybody being identified, it serves two purposes. Like you said, track, trace, and identify, number one. And number two, also sets the precedent for this whole new concept of online digital ID verification, right? So now they're building a beast system and putting everyone into it. This is how they're going to create that social credit system because based on your online activities is going to also be linked to your personal real life. You see? So now, and I believe Hoku came out and said it. She said, look, we're gonna have to go after people that if you post any content that's against what we saying or whatever, look, we gonna have to come see you. We gonna come see these people. We're gonna have to remove them from their homes, that type of shit. Yes, it's coming. Okay, and very soon, just like they already showing you in Israel, all right, soon you gonna have people coming to your door, knocking on your door and telling you you're coming with us. We're gonna investigate because we feel like you've been radicalized. So your personal views, if it goes against the system, you're in trouble. You better not be posting nothing. Because if you post, they're gonna come see you, and it better be in line with what they're trying to push. Because if it's not, they're gonna come see you. And even if you post anything that might be in line with what they're saying, but not exactly what they're saying, they're gonna come see you because it has to be lockstep what they want. Some 1984 Big Brother shit, 1984 Big Brother shit. So we in those times, all right, and it's only gonna get worse and worse and worse because they have to make this push. Okay, they have to curtail people's mental freedom of saying whatever the hell they want to say. That shit, they have to cut that shit out. Okay, and it's gonna have to be done by force. Okay, so-called enforcement, and it's coming. Okay, AI technology, all that shit, they're not doing all that for nothing. It's coming, and they're gonna use it against the people. The people that we've been warning and warning and warning about. You're gonna have to pay for it, man. It is what it is. All right, but you got it.
I was also going to ask, I was meditating on what you just said. We always, oh, okay. We always talk about what? Superman and Clark Kent. And what they're basically trying to do is what? Bring out the Superman so that way now you no longer hiding Clark Kent. So now what they're trying to do is this, right? Think of it like your Facebook or your Instagram. On your Facebook and Instagram, you may have pictures of yourself and you show the world this is who you are. But they know who we really are through the scripture. So now what they want to do is, okay, no more of that you hiding behind, like people say, spiritual warrior 144, or like my YouTube, son of the right. No more, none of that. Now we want your actual name out there on your YouTube and maybe even a picture of you. So now we can show the world this is who you are, this is what you look like, this is your name. And now we can show yada yada's name And this is who he is. This is who he's an anti-Semite. He's a bigot. He's a terrorist. All these types of things. And this is who he truly is. What all that stuff you see on Instagram and Facebook, that's fake. On his YouTube, this is who he truly is right here. And that's what they want to put out there. So now your family could see everything and now be like, so this is who you are, this is what you talk about and all this type of stuff. Or even your job now. Job could be like, oh, so this is who you truly are. We thought you were cool, but this is who you really are. They're trying to get Superman out there. No more, or like Batman. Nah, Bruce Wayne is Batman. No more hiding no more. Put you out there.
Yeah, what your brother said reminded me of y'all brother seen the last Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah, No Way Home, right?
It was No Way Home or Homecoming, one of those.
Yeah, No Way Home.
No Way Home, and at the end of it, they expose who Spider-Man is.
Mysterio. Yeah.
So they want to take the mask off of us. This is Spider-Man. This is your hero. This is him. He's just a regular guy.
And he framed him with that. Made it look like he killed him.
Right, and then they want to, on top of it, slander you. So they want to take the mask off so that they can show, all right, and that was all spiritual because we're going to have that moment. You know?
Well, that makes sense, right? Like, that's actually a good point that you brought up because if before they expose Superman's identity, they're gonna need to demonize him. They might need to make it look like Superman went rogue and then expose his identity. Because if you just go and expose his identity, people gonna say, well, he saves people, he saves lives. So if anything, we gonna praise Clark Kent. You know, what's wrong with Clark Kent being Superman? But if they say, yo, the Superman went rogue and he killed this many people, and now they know Superman is Clark Kent, now that's a danger. You know, because now they're looking at you like, oh wow, so you are X, Y, and Z. I want to take action against you. And what that does is, it's not that they want to expose you so that the people can get up and take pitchforks and come to your door and try to poke you and shit. It's because when they rally the people against you, it's easier for them to push a legislation that says we need to round these people up and we need to throw them in cells and we need to do this and that to them, because the people are going to say, yeah, we all for it. Let's do it. You know, they're going to have the support of the House and the Senate and all these people to agree with it because they have a justification for that. But if they don't, they're going to have pushback. Like in we've seen videos of that. I forget which hearing it was, but that somebody from the FBI, he came out and he was basically bringing out topics on the Hebrew Israelites and GSI.
Christopher Ray.
Yeah, I think it was him. The white Edomite looking thing, right? And then the black woman was like, the chick, she was like, well, so what have they done that's so terroristic? Like, I need more proof. You can't just tell me these guys are this, that, the third. Show me something, you know? So he had a hard time really trying to push it through there. But now they come out and they say, we need to demonize. And if you notice, when have they ever actually like done a hardcore push on demonizing specifically just us? They don't do that. They try to do like a big, large umbrella, and then they'll even throw in white supremacists in there. You know, they try to do that big, large umbrella to do the demonization work. And then after that, they start to narrow it down and start picking out, oh, this group. Oh, we got to go according to the Southern Poverty Law Center over here. Here's the thing about Esau. He's like a serpent, right? And we know a serpent, when you throw a rat in the pen with a serpent, he ain't going to attack it right away. He'll wait and wait and wait and wait for his perfect moment. Because the second the rat jumps in there, he's jumpy. He's like, oh shit, what's going on? He's going to attack, oh shit. And then the rat's like, all right, this thing ain't even moving. So then they'll start to calm down. And then the snake will get it. What that means is, you may think, like the brother brought out the video, the testimony about Project Cypher. That came out years ago. The second you heard it, you're like, oh shit, they getting ready to do something. They getting ready to do something. They don't do nothing. Then you hear some other content come out. Oh, these devils are getting ready to crash the economy. They're getting ready to introduce this. Oh shit, they're going to do this. October 4th, they're going to do this. And they don't do it. So the average mind will think that, oh, it was fake. Or, oh, it's not going to happen. Nothing happened. No. What they do is they let time pass and wait for the right opportunity. So all those things you heard, chances are that they're real. The timing is just different. That they throw you off with the timing. And when the time is right, they're going to strike. So they're going to bring out those cases, like, if y'all remember, like the Jersey City shooting, if you remember the Joy Morgan case, where they said there was like an Israelite that killed, that put her to death and got thrown in jail. There was another case where they said there was some dude who basically was dealing with some 13-year-old. And then the mom was okay with it because they said, according to that, that's true marriage, right? All of these things, they have these on record. You know, they have all this on record, and you thinking, damn, when it came out, they're going to demonize us. They ain't going to do it yet. They're gonna wait till the right opportunity. That way, like the FBI, they got 14 years of sentencing against you, and then they pull up on you and they say, "Look, nigga, we can throw you in jail for life. You get reincarnated and come back into jail. You be born into jail and continue in the jail for 3 generations. That's how much we got on you. So we make sure you can't get out of this one. That's why when they come, they say, we saying these people are anti-Semitic. Let me show you why. Take a look here, take a look here, take a look over there. They're also dangerous because take a look over here and take a look over here, and you see that over there, and you see that over there, and you're gonna be like, damn, this nigga making me think I'm anti.
Incident that happened was like 3 weeks now. The Watchman for Israel.
Yep.
That's also going to be up there as well. That's why we was telling y'all stop acting like that. But y'all was all getting all in your feelings and things like that. Now look, they're still going to blame the ministry, but like Elder Itasmo said, don't give them hope. Don't give them a reason and things like that. Make the ministry not blame. But y'all over here acting up, saying a whole bunch of things. Now you're saying all this craziness. We stand here for how about Shem Yahshua, we're war ready and things like that. They're going to use all those words against you. Oh, so you're war ready? Like I was saying with the Chief Ephraim thing. I need about an hour and a half to flame them bastards. So what you mean by the hour and a half to flame them? All those things going to be used against.
Yeah. And that's what they do. And you know what's interesting is you're going to see a lot of these different groups. They're not going to stand firm. When the persecute, one example is when they went and asked General Yohana, so you guys say you hate white people. We don't say we don't hate white people. God hates white people. And then you're gonna see these videos. You're gonna have General Nathaniel, right? Because you can't call him Nate. We call him Nate. They're gonna be 2 million comments on your comment board talking about you disrespectful. You can't call him Nate. The bishop. You gotta keep the bishop's name out your mouth. So he gonna get on video. He gonna say, "Don't listen to these black Hebrew Israelites." Wait a minute. Oh, now we're black Hebrew Israelites. So what are you? When you go into their documents, what are you classified as? You see? So wait a minute. What makes you so different? Why wouldn't they look at you as a black Hebrew Israelite too? Why wouldn't you be listed as one of the groups on Southern Poverty Law Center? Do you think that because you try to differentiate yourself, it's like here it is, you got Edomites, right? And then you got Israelites, you got black people over here, so-called black people over here. And then there's just that one Uncle Ruckus dude in there who thinks that just because he tries to demonize his folk along with the Edomites, they're gonna look at him like he's all right. You know, it's my dream to put a nigga in jail. You know, he thinks that he's gonna be what's that? Charleston, whatever, white. Yeah, he think he gonna do that and get off the hook. They don't come see him. But that's the point. When the time comes, you're gonna have a lot of Israelites that are gonna try to because there's gonna come a point where the Lord is gonna say, now I'm making it to where they're gonna bring you out here. There's gonna be no room for you to pull up a Clark Kent or use wisdom. None of that. Now you have to. Now at this point where I want you to actually stand firm for my name, and that's when you're gonna have a lot of people. That's when they're gonna start saying, "Oh, we gotta use wisdom." You know, the same people who, when we said we gotta use wisdom, they say, "Oh, y'all are just cowards." When the time comes when they gotta stand firm for the name of the Lord, that's when they're gonna say, "No, we gotta use wisdom." You know, I denied it because I gotta use wisdom. No. So you got to stand firm for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So they're going to do all these things. The demonization is going to come, but then they're going to try to push us to the forefront. Oh yeah, we Israelites too, but listen to them. They said you go, take them youngins. You know, you gotta get the clusters while they're young. You know, they're the ones who said that you got to do this. They're the ones who said this. And that's when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua said what? When they come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord is going to lift up a standard against them. You know, so we don't fear.
Okay, I got a quick precept to back up that point. All right, and that's why faith is very, very important, because ultimately the Lord said He's reserved unto Himself 7,000 spirits, 7,000 men that will not bow the knee to the image of Baal. So no matter what happens, there's a reserved amount of men who will always be against the grain. Right? It's always going to be that way. All right, it has to be. Now the Lord also told us in Matthew 13 verse 20, it says, "But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it." Right? "Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended." And what happens? The Lord said, "What? Blessed is he that is not offended in me," because that offended is more of you taking a stance and saying, "Oh no, I'm not a part of this." You know, like denying the Lord, what Peter did, right? But now Peter is of the elect, so that was something that had to be done to fulfill prophecy. Okay, but ultimately, you also have folks who are not of the elect who have to turn their backs on this truth and even be part of the insiders on some Judas shit. Okay, to also fulfill prophecy. Okay, now the Lord also said that what? Then shall they be known who are my chosen. Okay, the apostles were persecuted. Okay, when you read the book of Acts, they were all persecuted for what? For teaching in the name of Yahushua, man. And that was the main thing. They kept telling them. They said, "Have we not commanded you, straightly commanded you, not to teach in that name?" Okay, so it's not just, oh, you just teach it. That's why these niggas in these other camps, they don't teach in the name of Yahushua, because it's the same exact spirits coming back. Okay, back then they did not fuck with the spirit of Yahushua. They pushed against that. Okay, and we pushed against them. Same thing today. Same shit today, bro. There's nothing new. Okay, verse 22, Matthew 13 verse 22. It says, "He also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful." So what are they doing over there in the IUIC and these other camps? They're feeding them riches, man. Okay, and what does that do? It clouds your judgment righteously. All right, that's what's happening. Why do you think this guy is going off all the goddamn time? Is because his mind has been clouded, okay, by the money of Esau Edom. Okay, the threats, all right, the so-called opportunities that he's getting, all right, to be able to ride on a damn horse with a fucking Edomite woman got in the horse, that's a red flag right there. Okay, in a big ass auditorium like that, like goddamn stadium, and you hop in your happy ass on a horse, you got women crying, oh, where's the bishop? Yo, it's like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? You know, and the Most High gonna put he's gonna put heavy judgment on you, all you wicked ass men worshiping ass people, man. The Most High is about to get his glory, okay, and he's gonna take that glory that all you niggas think you're gonna have. What does the scripture say about a man that goes and puts himself in a high seat? When the Lord comes back, he says, "My man, get your ass up. That's not your seat. That's for one of the lowly ones over there, the meek, who is gonna inherit the kingdom." You think you already got the kingdom, right? You niggas want the kingdom to be here as it is right now. No, it doesn't work that way. Plus, when the kingdom comes, you ain't gonna be the man anyway. God damn it! All right, Yahushua is gonna be that man. He is that man. Okay, he's the one who gets that glory and that honor, man. Scripture says that he's coming with what? With power and with great glory, man. All right, he's gonna weed out all you wicked ass niggas in Israel, man. All right, it's coming. All right, so enjoy your glory now. Okay, what was that Matthew the 5th chapter where he said what for ye have received your consolation. All right, woe unto you who are rich. All right, you in Israel, you teaching the truth, but you a millionaire, multi-millionaire, man. You've received your consolation. All right, and that's if that doesn't make you it doesn't traumatize you, the return of the Lord does not traumatize you, man, you ain't in the right spirit, bro. All right, so hey, man, it is what it is, but the Lord is coming back for some. He's coming for that smoke. All right, and the niggas ain't ready. All right, but you got it. Just want to add that in there.
That's it. That's it. Let's go back to what we had in here.
This is Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
Yeah, because fools are ignorant to things, you know, and they don't know something, and they don't. The reason they continue to stay at fools because they never make the effort to learn. Okay, they go without the knowledge and they stay that way, and they have no problem with it. Okay, but it says walk as a wise, not as fools. So what do the scriptures tell us is the characteristics of a wise man or a prudent man? They foresee if the evil and they hide themselves. Do they take time to actually look ahead? How do they foresee the evil? Because it's like when you're driving. A good driver understands in his mind that you gotta think in your mind, and you used to always say this, right? You gotta think in your mind that everybody else on the road does not know how to drive. You are the only one that knows how to drive. Meaning you don't expect that because this person is in a car on the road that they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. You gotta always plan for them, expect that they're not gonna do what they're supposed to do. That way you can better anticipate. You know, you see a car coming and you know that it's your right of way, but chances are he ain't even gonna stop at that stoplight. So slow down a little bit just in case he doesn't, you know, because if you're thinking, nope, he's supposed to stop, boom, his dumb ass is like, what stop sign? Boom. Guess what? Now y'all both in there. Okay. So that's the whole point. A wise man, he looks around, right? And that's how he's able to foresee the evil. He's able to anticipate. Hold on. Did I just hear this dude say yo, wait right here. I'm gonna be right back. I saw y'all. I got some smoke for y'all. I'll be right back. You know. And then he starts walking to his car. And I'm here walking with my 2-year-old son. Am I supposed to keep on walking in that direction when there's two people standing there saying, so what's up, Pete? You know, and this guy's walking to his car, going to his trunk. No, I'm going back in reverse. And maybe I'm picking up my son and we're running a little faster. Okay? Because I know that in a couple of seconds, I might hear some shots getting licked off. He gonna be licking off shots at him. You know? And so you foresee that, and you're like, you know what? Let me just go the other way. Okay? But the foolish, they pass on. It ain't about me. It ain't about me. As if they never heard of a stray bullet or people getting caught in the crossfire. You can see something brewing, but they pass on and are destroyed. Now you got shot in your ribs, in your knees, in your shins, in your kneecaps, and your elbows, and now you in pain. So the whole point is, as the Apostle Paul said, you got to be wise. And we were talking about this earlier. When you actually apply wisdom in your life, you'll realize how much easier and how much less of a headache life is. Because we're already in captivity. So life is already, not the best for us. But when you actually apply wisdom, there's a lot of trouble you can avoid. If I know that that's a fire hydrant, maybe let me not park my car over there overnight. Worst case scenario, let me wake up at like 4 a.m. and come and move it. Because I know it doesn't matter how bad you want to hit your quota. You ain't going to be out here at 4 a.m. trying to give me a ticket. And if you are, I might come, I need to come see you. All right, I might need to send, but that's the point. You gotta use wisdom. Don't give yourself, like you said, don't give yourself into the situation and then blame Satan. What you think Satan's job is? His job is, oh, you brought yourself to me? Of course I'm gonna eat. So you're gonna bring yourself as food. He eats, and then you get mad. You get mad at Satan.
Sometimes you are Satan.
Yeah. Hey, Lord told Peter that. So you do it to yourself. That's a good point. I'm doing less. Go ahead. Sometimes you are Satan.
Verse 16. Redeeming the time because the days are evil.
So we know that the days are evil. So we know there are traps all around us. So you got to walk real careful. You ever seen, first off, you know how hard it is to actually catch a rat in the trap? When you actually come in the next morning, you may see one or two on there. But if you recorded them, look, my man, that rat will come there over 200 times that night. He gonna pull up. Shit, rats are not dumb. Oh, that's the cheese. All right. Then he's gonna run back. And you're gonna think, he's right there. Then he's gonna run back. He's gonna come back. Then he's gonna run back. That's what they do. Like you said, they're not dumb. Because he's like, what if this is a trap? This nigga ain't never put cheese out here like this before.
They will sit there and that cut just, and they will dead ass watch you.
Yeah. And that's what they do. But eventually, most of the time, they probably don't get caught because they're stupid. They get caught because of the temptation.
Oh, they slip up.
Yeah, they slip up. They're like, I know this is a trap, but damn, I need that cheese. Fuck it. Then they bite and then bam, they get caught. So you gotta know all around you that they're trapped all around. And that's the thing about Jake. Sometimes Jake don't get caught because they're stupid. They get caught because they just give in. They don't have self-control. Dude says, I know, bro. When they get caught, I know I shouldn't have done it. Like in them shows, Dateline NBC. Dateline NBC, they always catch these individuals come in here about to do some weird freaky shit. And the second this nigga walked, there was a video of a dude walked in, he stripped outside naked and then came into the house naked. And he didn't see who he thought he was gonna see. He heard the voice though. So and I mean my man came for business. The second he walked in, he was already going behind the counter. Full speed, cool. Because they put the bait, they put like the little girl, like she'll peek her head out. And so the guy knows that she's there, and then she'll go into the room like, I'm gonna change real quick. This nigga said, fuck that, I'm gonna help you change. He came in there quick. Yo, when he opened that quick, he saw Chris Hansen go. And it's the face of realization. Oh, damn. Oh, man. I knew it. They always knew it. So if you knew it, why are you here? That's what he asked them. If you knew it, what are you doing here? So it's not that they don't know. You drove 3 states to go to some, you honestly think in this day and age, there's gonna be some 9-year-old chick who's smart enough to know how to talk freaky with you and invite you to her crib, and the parents are gonna leave her there without a babysitter or nothing, and it's in an Edomite neighborhood, and you just gonna pop up in there and then act a fool and then walk away? No, bro. They're gonna catch you in jail. Talking about look at that fresh meat. What you doing here, cupcake? You know what I'm saying? You know, that's basically what ends up happening to these dudes. You know, so going back to the scripture, you gotta be, as the scripture says, you gotta be wise. You know, you gotta apply that wisdom. That was it on that?
Yeah, wherefore be,
Yeah, let's read that, verse 17.
verse 17. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
And we understand what times we're living in. As a matter of fact, that goes along. If anybody get that First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, you know, that we can start at the top. That goes along with that whole chapter, redeeming the time. So we know what time it is. The second something goes down, and we put an article in the chat, I'll be surprised if a brother asks me, wait, brother, so like, why are we excited about this again? Here it is. You see an article in there. It says, Bill Gates and like the UN, they're doing a global digital ID. It's gonna take the form of a micro yada yada, and they're gonna start as soon as next year, January. Everybody's like, let's go. You wait, brother. What? Wait, so why? What? I don't understand. We might need to give you a talking to.
No,
What you mean you don't
that's
understand?
that's an agent. You gotta get kicked out, right?
Why are we excited, brother? You know, Lord willing, Lord willing, the next 7 to 10 years, we can start looking towards that. At that point, you just stop. You need to stop. You got to stop. Don't be talking about Lord willing the next 7 to 10 years. That's not Lord willing. We don't be saying that. All right. We don't know when the time is, but we always hope on the closer end. You know what I mean? You got that? Anybody got that? First Thessalonians.
First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
Now, Paul's not talking about when it's winter and when it's summer and when it's spring. When he says the times and the seasons, he's talking about the same times that the angel told Ezra to measure. All right, meaning the prophetic events that are actually taking place. You don't have a need for him to write on to you as to what's going on. Right? He's gonna say it. Go on.
For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Right. So you know what time is going to be when the Lord comes. It ain't going to be that the Lord announces everywhere. It's funny because the Lord technically is announcing his return through us, but people are not taking heed. We're always out here. We're saying the same thing over and over again. So literally, you can't say, "Oh Lord, I didn't know."
Okay. Lord has us in the spirit to go through the whole scriptures, but a Christian wants to tune into the final season, don't want to watch any of the previous seasons, and then think that they're going to know what they're talking about. You're not going to know what the hell's going on. You go to Game of Thrones, the final season. Oh, who's that? Who's Daenerys? What's the dragon there doing that? You're not going to know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah. You ain't going to understand why people probably get mad or like, "Oh, why did he do that? Why do what? Why? What does that matter? Who's he?" You know, you're not going to understand.
Who's the beast again?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the plot?
Oh, okay. And because of that, you're not going to see a reason why you shouldn't take the MOT.
Hey, that's why. So, and that's why they want to take the prophets off the scene, because if people don't know, they're gonna end up doing it because of how enticing it's gonna be. You know, imagine everyone in the world never heard about the MOTB and what it is and so on and so forth, and the judgment to come after that, right? And they're just out there. A lot of people gonna end up taking that shit. You got people today now who are hearing the breakdown. They know what it is, but they still gonna end up taking it. It's all the spirit of the Lord, you know. So ultimately, man, hey, without this truth, man, shit, man, whew, hey, that's why the Lord said, "There shall no flesh be saved." Legit, you know, it's this truth that has brought the salvation of the elect. You know, because it's this truth that seals the elect that the Lord is coming back to deliver anyway. Because without the elect, the Lord ain't coming back, or even if He did come back, He's destroying everything in sight. You know, so that's why He's going. Hey, real quick before I pass on to you, Shiar, real quick, the wrath to come. It's the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 1 and verse 10. Real quick, it says, "And to wait for his son from heaven," right? So that's why we're doing what we do, right? "Whom he raised from the dead, even Yahushua Hamashiach, which delivered us from the wrath to come." So the
You can
elect,
start up a bit.
huh?
I said you can start up a bit, a couple of verses above.
Oh, con. We could start off at verse 7. Actually, verse 6. Verse 6, it says, actually, verse 5. It says, "For
Why'd
our
you start
gospel."
this out?
I'll start off at verse 5. It says, "For our gospel came not unto you in word only, but also in power and in the Holy Spirit, and in much assurance, right? That's what conveyed all brothers who are in the truth, or at least of the elect, to what? To pay more attention, right? The assurance of this truth, like, yo, this is true, this is it. Like, we remembered what we got from the past. It just hit us just like that. Like, I'll give an example. There are certain people that you could ask questions, right? Jake, you ask them certain questions, and they have a certain remembrance to certain stories in the scriptures, but not in detail or the facts of it, right? So some people might say, "Oh, I know about Cain and Abel. I know about the story of Samson, David and Goliath." They know that because that's who we are. That's our history, right? That's our nationality and so on and so forth. Who we are. But the details of what's to come, the prophecies, they don't understand a lick of prophecy, man. They have no clue what the hell is going on in prophecy, right? So it's the Spirit of the Lord that gives us the spirit of what? Of much assurance. It says, "As ye know what manner of men we were among you for your sake." Right? And this is the Apostle Paul speaking. It says, "And ye became followers of us and of the Lord, having received the word in much affliction with joy of the Holy Spirit." Okay, so the most affliction we're gonna get is a form of persecution, which when you go into that word persecution, it means to be basically pushed down for your belief, right? Being persecuted, being attacked for your belief. And the word persecute literally means to follow someone, right? The word the per means through, and then the circuit or persecute is basically I believe the word is sequi or something like that, sequa, which means what? To follow someone. Sequence. That's where you get the word sequence from, right? So when you persecute someone, that means you're following them, basically berating them, say, hey, 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 that kind of thing. And that's what they're planning to do to us because of our belief, okay? Not because we did anything wrong, okay? So this truth is going to receive persecution against those who speak it, right? It says, "So that ye were ensamples to all that believe in Macedonia and Achaia." All right, and Achaia is what? The ancient way of saying Greece. Okay, when you actually go into it, Achaia is Greece. Okay, it says, "For from you sounded out the word of the Lord, not only in Macedonia and Achaia, but also in every place your faith to the Most High Word or Godward is spread abroad." Okay, so that we need not to speak anything. All right, going into First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, that the Apostle Paul doesn't have to tell you anything. We don't have to tell brothers the times and the seasons and explain it to them. We know this is what we're expecting, right? Because we're measuring the times diligently in itself. All right, that's what the watchmen are supposed to be doing. So if we're doing our jobs, then hey, we're gonna get that reward. Okay, very very much so. All right. It says, verse 9, "For they themselves shew of us what manner of entering in we had unto you," right? "And how ye turned to the Most High from idols to serve the living and true power." That's the same thing we're doing today. Majority of us, if not all of us, was in some type of idol worship known as JC and Christianity and all this bullshit. Okay? Some brothers were coming from all kinds of different walks of life. Just to show you the power of the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, that just just hearing this word alone, a man could be fully persuaded in his own mind of the truth. Okay, that this is the truth. Okay, and verse 10, "And to wait for his son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, even Yahushua Hamashiach, which delivered us from the wrath to come." Okay, so that wrath to come was in Revelation the 14th chapter. All right, the ninth verse all the way down to about the 12th, 13th verses. All right, it tells you. Okay, it tells you the wrath, what's gonna happen to the wicked and those who take that MOTB. So it's very important that we come out here and explain to you what the MOTB is, especially if you're an Israelite. Okay, because you're literally saying that you're pledging yourself to another God. The Lord, the first law says, "Ye shall have no other gods beside me." But yet niggas gonna bow the knee to a different God and expect the Lord to have mercy on them. No, it doesn't work that way, man. So you better take heed to what's being said now, because you don't have much time left to make your mind up. All right, you got it. Ashiar, Salakia.
Very good point. Wait, what did you have? I forgot what the point was on that, but yeah, let's keep going right there.
1 Thessalonians 5:3. "But when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape."
Right. So at the time when they least expect it, because once again, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to be walking around just yelling peace and safety, but they're going to say that through their means of living. Okay, through their anastrophe, their way of life. They're going to be living carefree. They're gonna be living defenseless because in their mind they're thinking everything is still all sweet out here. All right, they're not, and the reason is because a lot of them are not paying attention. When you pay attention, you can't help but to have your guard up, and that's why a lot of people will openly tell you they don't watch the news. They don't keep up with current events. Why? It's too scary. You know, they don't like to see all that. It's too much, and they would rather just not see it. That's not. I mean, okay, that's one way to go about it. So it says sudden destruction is going to come upon them because now you don't know what's coming. I saw a brother. I think it's the brother Yawanathan from the GMS main camp. I think his channel is Chariots of Israel. Yeah, Chariots of Israel too. And he was doing a video on a T attack that basically they showed a map of New York. They showed a map of New York talking about they're gonna do a T attack or something like that. And it started getting people, you know, startled. So now if you're one of those individuals that says, oh, it's too scary, I'm not gonna pay attention, how are you gonna know about the warnings? What if there's a warning going out saying everybody needs to evacuate if you're living within this region because of a potential T? You're not gonna know. And then when you do see panic, you're gonna be completely confused, trying to ask people what's going on. People ain't gonna be. Look, man, if somebody's running for their life, they don't have time to stop and explain to you why they're running for their life. The only time they got is when you see them till when they pass you. Wait, what's going on? Just run, and then they pass you. and you know with Jake, you don't gotta tell him that. Yeah. If Jake look, man, you see a crowd of people just running. Before you even ask any questions, you gone. Before they get to you, you already out there. The dude pushing the wheelchair is gonna run. The dude in the wheelchair is gonna run. Everybody's gonna run. The dog is gonna grab his sneaker. He's gonna run.
Yo, remember that video of the pastor in the church? And he's just talking, preaching, and then all of a sudden he just act like he's dipping off. Everybody started, hey! And he turned around, he said, hey, it's a joke, it's a joke. He's like, oh, it's a joke, relax, it's a joke. Everybody's like, oh shit, this motherfucker got me fucked up. Hey, they shall be like a Chase Road.
That's it. Yeah, they're scattered everywhere. Where the faith at? You had them old women with their shit. They grabbing this shit. They grab the little skirt shit and they start running all around the room and shit. You know how many people would have been caught up with that small ass door and everybody's trying to dive through? It would have been like the Lion King when the herd came and they killed Mufasa. That's what it's gonna be like. Them stampedes, just people running, doom, 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 like Black Friday. You know, so you thinking that, oh well, you know, I'm just not gonna pay attention and life is gonna be all sweet. Life doesn't work that way. See, life is not like them fairy tales, you know, in like Tinkerbell. You gotta believe in her, or else she's gonna start to fade away and cease to exist. You know, just because I don't believe it means it's not gonna happen. That's not the case. If somebody's about to punch you in the face and you close your eyes and say, I don't believe it, as if that is gonna stop that punch, you're gonna get a nice fist to your face. And you're gonna feel the pain, as it says in Romans 3. Yeah, it's gonna clear those yeah. You get punched in the face, you're gonna breathe different. Okay.
So love for Court Danger. We're gonna see that broom with the red light around it. Nobody's gonna go in. He's gonna be the one to tempt the Lord.
That's it.
And go up in there.
That's it.
It reminds me of a video where they had an Edomite. It was a lion in a cage, right? And this Edomite goes in and starts poking the lion's shit. Wow. For whatever the fuck reason. And then the lion got his ass. Oh,
yeah, what kind of that's you said tempting the hand of the Lord. Because that's the thing about lions. If you really pay attention to lions are actually chill until unless they have a reason to do something, they're not gonna do nothing. That's why these Edomites are able to pull up. They know what times to pull up, but they'll be right next to the lion, and the lion will just have his one paw on top of the other, you know, just laying there. And then sometimes it'll pick up his head, and then it'll do like that yawn, and then it'll look around, wag its tail and shit to swat the flies away, and then it'll just go back to laying down. If you come back when the lion is hungry, it's going to be a different story, because the lion will come. And the thing about a lion is, unless they're coordinating an attack, they don't need to sneak up on you. You'll just see the lion coming towards you, and then it'll start trotting, and then it'll just start to. And when it does that, forget it. Trust and believe. A lion is big. Don't get fooled by what you see on. No. A lion's paw could pin your ass down, and that's the end of you. Okay, so don't fuck around trying to go poke a lion in this shit, because you're gonna get all the meat slapped off.
seen the lion coming, and he's like slow jogging towards the gate, like motherfucker, run!
The Lord said, no, that's it. That's it. He's gonna slow down here.
You would think he would have some sense of danger. Esau just turned around like, nah, he ain't gonna catch me. He was this close to the gate. Caught his ass, pulled him away. You just see his body getting dragged.
He's coming back. That nigga gone.
I got a precept. This is Matthew 4:7. Yahweh Shai said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power.
Do not tempt the Lord thy power. If you're in danger, you pray to the Lord. Yeah, the Lord will deliver you if you are, if he wants to. Let me put it like that. Let me just put it like that. Okay, I'm not even just gonna say if you're of the elect, because sometimes you could be of the elect and be in some kind of danger. The Lord's like, nah, you need to learn a lesson. So you're gonna go through it. So the Lord will deliver you if he wants to. That's what the scriptures say. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, right? So you're not supposed to tempt the Lord's hand. That means that, oh, well, I know that if I pray to the Lord, he said that in any temptation, just pray and believe. So I'm gonna jump in the middle of the street, oncoming traffic, and I'm gonna pray to the Lord and see what happens. The fact that you even had the thought to do that probably means that the Lord wants you in the spur world. That's why he had an angel jump in your mind and tell you, go jump in front of oncoming traffic. So don't tempt the Lord's hand, but that's different from being in a situation where, you can't really control it, and then you got to pray to the Lord to deliver you. But that's why certain iniquities that you commit, you do it to yourself. You do it to, you know what human nature is like. That's why, as a matter of fact, in the Apocrypha, there's a precept that says, sit not at all with another man's wife at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and through thy desire you fall into temptation. You get destroyed, because that is how human nature works. So if you put yourself in that situation and you don't have self-control and you end up committing adultery, it ain't oh, the Lord didn't give me the self-control. No, you put yourself there. You jumped in the water knowing you can't swim. Why?
And this is why we pray to the Lord for what? To deliver us, not to lead us into evil, but to deliver us from temptation. All right, because the biggest, some of the biggest temptations as young men is normally going to be with women, and especially women who have men. They always try to make themselves available, and if you're not careful, you get yourself in some hot trouble, man, quick. All right, but the scriptures tell you that he that committeth adultery lacketh wisdom. Okay, so if you're a man of wisdom, you know damn well not to sit around a woman who got a man or even engage in any type of conversation. I don't even want to say hi to you. For what? What we got to say hi for? We got to talk. There's nothing to talk about. There's so many women out there that are looking for men, especially now. Oh, and that's the spirit. That Isaiah 4:1 spirit is kicking in, man. And Lord willing, we going to go into all that, another time or whatever when the spirit permits. But the women are getting in order. Low key, they coming around brothers, checking in, shit like that. You be like, what the fuck, man? Back up. We're not in the time for that, because we're in serious times, very, very serious, deadly times, man. But you got it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. You got that?
Yeah.
That's it. What you got?
Matthew chapter 24,
That's right.
verse 21. For then shall be great tribulations, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor even shall be. Except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right, so those days is here, it's great tribulations for those men that's enduring. But for the elect's sake, shit, it would have been here already. These times would have been here by now. But the elect got to be sealed before those times actually get here. So we're still pushing, but mainly the point I was making in 21 is that it's like none other than before. This time like none. The Lord did away with this place at times before. Did away with Sodom and Gomorrah. Did away with the whole planet during the times of Noah. This is worse than the time of Noah's time, because a new kingdom is going to usher in, and there's going to be mad devastation involved.
Yep. This time's going to be by fire.
Right.
And that's why in this time you can't see. In Noah's time, he built a physical ark that was going to deliver him, from the water. But in this time, you can't. The ark that we're building is not of us. Okay, the ark that we're building is really through the Spirit of the Lord. All right, and that's going to be, it's a spiritual ark, and that's why nobody. Every time we come out here, it's equivalent or corresponds to Noah being out there actually physically building that ark. Can you imagine how much work that takes to build an ark that size? Because you need to make sure that this thing is not with how big it is, it doesn't sink. You know, you got to carry the materials, because back then it's not like today. You go to the to Home Depot and you say, okay, you know what, matter of fact, I can't carry all that. Let me order it so they can deliver it. You know, so they deliver it over here for me, and then I'm gonna start putting the pieces together. You know, no, back then you needed wood. Go to where the trees are at. Go cut down some trees. And wood doesn't come by. You see that tree right there? You just go and cut that tree, and now all of a sudden you got wood. No, you see all that I forgot what the name of the outside part of it is. All the bark. You got to get all that off. You got to be able to cut it into the measurements that you need. So that's a lot of work that Noah was doing. You got to be able to seal it so the water doesn't get in.
And you also got to remember that he got specific commandments from the Lord on how to build the ark. You see, so all those years you got to remember that. Just like when we're reading about the building of the temple, right? The specifics of that, you know, is very, very specific how the Lord wants things done, you know, on earth as it is in heaven. So it's always a model that you have to follow. And if you fuck it up, you're done. It's not acceptable. It's not an acceptable sacrifice. And that's why we question why are these guys teaching what they teach. Well, this is the building of the ark, and you're not building it right. Okay, you're adding. The Lord said put gopher wood. You niggas is using timber. The Lord said, no, use acacia wood. These niggas want to use burgundy, whatever, you know, maple trees and shit. It's like, what are you doing? You know, the Lord says, build it 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall. Nigga said, nah, I'm gonna make it 10. 10, because we got brothers who might be tall. So hey, the Lord, what if that room is not designated for tall brothers? How about that? Right? So you have to follow the model as it's been set up the way the Lord set it up. Just follow the model. And anyone who does not follow the model, what did the Lord say? He said, "Oh, you're gonna be in some type of garment that's not recognized. Grab his ass up and toss him up in there, man. His lot is gonna be among the hypocrites. All right, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right, and them niggas, it's coming, it's coming. He
Yeah,
got it.
that's not fun, man. That's not fun at all. When the scriptures say that, weeping and gnashing of teeth, man, it's not a fun thing at all, man. People take that lightly, but every word in the scriptures holds weight. Okay, every word in the scriptures holds weight. When I'm sure that when when Moses was telling the children of Israel over there in the wilderness about the prophecies of the curses that would come upon them if they disobeyed the Lord, they heard what he said, but they probably didn't imagine it to be as bad as it actually did when it manifested. When the time of the Babylonians came in and they besieged Jerusalem, killing people and children. When Antiochus came up in there, during the time of 70 AD, the time of the transatlantic slave trade, yeah, they didn't expect it to be that bad. Because when you read the words in there, you're like, okay, you're going to go into captivity. You're going to serve your enemies. But what does the manifestation of serve look like? It looks like you have no power in your hand. That means they can come in and rape your son and you and your wife, and put you to death. And then throw pregnant women off the ship by tying a heavy-ass weight to their ankles so they drown in the water. By taking the baby from the woman. First off, the dude raped the woman on the ship. She got a baby. Now he's taking the baby away from her because we don't need the baby. Throw it off. That's an extra mouth to feed. We can't afford that. That's the manifestation of you're going to come into this land in Egypt again with ships. All you read is with ships, right? But now that with ships, the experience on those ships was very bad. So every word in the scriptures holds weight. Don't think that it says you're going to be beaten with many stripes. So you just imagine maybe the one time your pops whipped you with he's supposed to give you one hit, but he hit you like 3 times. No, the many stripes is not going to be that somebody's going to hit you with a belt on your back or something. The many stripes might be you go 3-4 days without eating, and then you get caught up, and then somebody eats you. Maybe they cut off your leg, and then they eat that. And then you get to survive that just so you can go and end up in some other painful situation again. So don't mess with the Lord, man.
What you said reminded me of what the prophet Nathan said to David about Solomon, that he would be chasing with the stripes of men, the stripes of the children of men. So you say, okay, what does that actually encompass? It doesn't say crucifixion. It doesn't say necessarily that you're going to be put to death, but that's what it ultimately came down to for the Lord Yahweh Shai.
That involved humiliation, you know, putting a look, man. Them the crown of thorns. When you looked it up, man, we're not talking about like toothpick-sized thorns. You know, we're talking about some like long, sharp thorns that were pressed into his head. You know, bang, 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 to really put it in there. And then it wasn't just because we just want to cause him pain, but it was to humiliate him. Because a crown of thorns, and then they stripped him off and they threw this like garment on him, and then they gave him a reed, and it was to symbolize him being the king of the Jews, but in a mocking sense. When they whipped him, they said that the whip, the cat of nine tails or whatever it's called, that thing is like it got claws in there. So when they whip and they pull, it takes flesh. It rips flesh out. You know, so it's not like, you know, and then you good. No. So he went through a lot.
Imagine like when you pulling out your pants pocket like that. Like that's how the flesh would look.
Yep. So that's not a fun thing, you know. So when the scriptures say something, man, it's not about it just said that many people are gonna die because of this. Oh yeah, you know.
I was gonna say with the thorns being in his head, like you said, it was a rock, but him being a king of the low to the rest of the world, the other nations treated the Jews as like the lowest of the lower of the species. So him having that crown and looking like a worthy king is how they represented saying how Jews were considered to them as well. Because they were always in captivity, you know, amongst them. Like, yeah, you want to be king of the bones.
Yeah. And then even amongst your own people. to see that, wait a minute, I came here so I think ultimately I came here so even these people can gain salvation. And these are the same motherfuckers that said, no, put us on the cross. I mean, put me on the cross. Yeah, hey, that's a beautiful point. Like the elder said, people cried watching the Passion of Christ, and that was just a watered down of a movie, and they probably had Edomite in there. So imagine, because it said that when they were taking him after this. Now keep in mind that after they done whooped him and all of that, that's when they went to crucify him. Okay, to put him on the cross. And when they were taking him, it says the women, they were crying. The people that were following him, they were crying. Because imagine actually having to witness something like that. Because those that were with the Hawashai, he wasn't just a random stranger. They cared about him. You know, so to see him going through all of that, you can't do anything about it. And then you gotta you gotta be hanging on the cross with a nail. And them nails weren't, once again, it wasn't those like tiny little nails that you boom, boom, boom. You know, if you go into if you go camping and you try to actually build a tent, those thick ass nails that they hammer into the earth to keep the tent standing, that's what they put into it. You know, while he's on that cross for hours. No water, no nothing.
Also, you gotta remember the cross. Thinking the cross like what you see, it moves smooth. No, that thing probably had things stinging out of it. So even on his back, I remember even the doctor was going into it, how when you're on the cross, you're on your feet sting, he had to like lean up at some certain times to talk. It's not like he could just, yeah, hey, how you doing? No, he had to lean up to talk and things like that. Then on top of it, you gotta remember you're hanging like this. So pretty much that nail's is really supporting you and everything. And then your feet as well. So your feet is like this, and you have to sting to like pretty much keep yourself up. That's why when the I guess it's centurion or whoever came break the legs, that's why it dings you down so that way you can't breathe. So he had to pretty much keep himself out there for 3 hours just to be able to breathe and talk to people. And to like on top of that, having the nails in his head to keep consciousness and all that for 3 hours, that agonizing pain. That's not easy. Like anytime you want to talk, you have to stand up and use all your calf muscles to then talk. And then at certain times, you probably have to like just chill out for a second and deal with that pain, and then have to raise back up.
All your legs. Well, they didn't break his legs specifically, you know, but he was in there. You know, your shoulders. You go to the gym and you damn near lift some dumbbells. You do like 3 sets and your shoulders already burning. Now imagine you up there for 3 hours, and on top of that, you got niggas mocking you. You got niggas right there in front of you talking about, so, well, he the king, but he can't save himself now. You ever actually been in pain and you hear somebody talking shit? You know, like there was a video I saw of a dude. He was trying to move a plate of tiles with his wife, and Instead of her ass holding the shit, she let it go. So all the towels just came and smashed onto his fingers. And he's just like, boom, ah. Now, but Salakia, but the point is, when his fingers got smashed, he didn't want to do anything because she was trying to, oh, I'm sorry. He wasn't trying to hear a word. He just got up quietly and left the vicinity because he knew that if he stayed there, he might have wanted to hurt her, right? So the point is, when you're in pain, the last thing you want to hear is somebody saying something that's irrelevant to you, let alone mocking you. So Yahushua really went through a lot. When it says he was going to be chastised with the stripes of men, that's what that manifested as. And he knew, and you know what's even agonizing on top of that is it wasn't like he found out last minute. He knew ahead of time this is what was going to have to happen to him. So he knew ahead of time that he was going to have to go through this kind of pain. So imagine every day you wake up and you know that the time is coming, that you're doing all of this, but it's going to lead up to this time that you got to go through that, you know? And then he went through that. So when the scriptures, tell you about something, it's not a joke. When the Lord says, when the scriptures themselves tell you that it's going to be a time like never before, that there's going to be what does it say? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. And the emphasis the scriptures put, I believe in the book of Jeremiah, there's a part that says that pretty much go and teach your daughters how to lament and how to mourn, because that's how bad it's going to be. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians 4:8 in the NLT. We are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by the Most High. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Yahushua, so that the life of Yahushua may also be seen in our bodies.
Go. And that's a beautiful precept. You know, and sometimes, you go into the scriptures, but every now and then, you mention these parts, and it's like, if you actually meditate on these things, you actually, you get sad, but you actually start to get pissed off. You get very, like, there's a certain anger that builds within you when you start to look at, okay, the sorrow and the pain, like, you can feel this level of pain just by thinking about what the Lord went through for our sakes. And you feel bad knowing that, damn, Lord, you went through all of this, and I can't even, I can't even go a whole week without probably committing some iniquity that I don't even know about. And then you think back and look at niggas, both those that don't know they're Israelites and those that do know they're Israelites. And then the level of disrespect that they treat the Lord with. When you actually think about what the Lord went through, and then you think about the shit that they do, that really inflames you. Like how Mattathias had that anger within him, it inflames you. And sometimes that's when you might lash out a little bit because you get very, very angry. So when people come on here talking about why y'all always talking about this group, why y'all always getting on this group, why y'all always doing this, it's because we're defending what the Lord did for us. Yet the Lord had to go on the cross and die and do what he did so we can get the understanding that we have today. And that's why it's so precious to us that we have to defend it anytime somebody tries to taint it. Or else we're in essence saying, we don't care about the sacrifice you did, Lord. We're just going to sit there and let anybody else come and say whatever about you, about the word, about all those things. And though we may be, we can't do anything now, but we're going to do the best that we can to defend the Lord's reputation and to defend the words of the scriptures. So for you to openly sit there and just like mockingly, pervert the scriptures when it comes to the name of the Lord, it doesn't matter. He was just Jesus Christ. He called the name of God. He was just somebody, He did all of that, but he was just somebody. And then you're probably one of those people who said, let his blood be upon us and our children's children, because you didn't care about him back then, and you don't care about him now. But he still cares about you,
And that's that wicked ass Babylonian demonic spirit right there. That's not a spirit of a true Israelite, because we are a people of peace. We're a people of reverence and respect of authority, okay, and order. All right. When you go back into the ancient world, before anyone came into the presence of the king, even King Solomon's mother, she had to bow her head, come in, and then he had to raise the scepter for her to come in and say what she had to say. And then he gave her the go ahead and said, "Speak on, my mother." Right. So, and they used to reference the kings as my lord. Okay, the Yahushua is the King of Kings, bro. And you got niggas today in that Western negative nigga mindset saying that what? Oh, you can call him whatever you want. What? That's he's a god. He's the son of the heavenly Father, the King of the universe. You don't get to give him any old name you want. You know what I'm saying? He's precious. Okay? How you doing? You know, he's precious. So you have to have that reverence when you're addressing that precious spirit, that man himself, Yahushua. And but ultimately, guess what? He gonna get his glory. All right. When he comes back, he's gonna get his glory, man. He's gonna get his glory, man. All right. Hey, that's why the scripture says all knees shall bow. Okay, and those who don't bow, guess what? The enforcers gonna be there. We gonna be there to bash them heads in, man. We gonna bash your kneecaps in. We gonna bash your heads in. We gonna break your necks. All right, your limbs. All right, you gonna respect the Lord. Okay, you gonna put some respect on His name. All right, you got niggas out here hopping on common boards, mad crazy. Well, his name is not Nate. His name is Bishop, whatever. Like, bro, you don't even have that fear for the Heavenly Father, man. Neither do you have the fear for His name. It's straight hypocrisy, man. Straight up hypocrisy. All right, and the Most High is gonna destroy every last one of you niggas. All right. The Lord is coming back and he's coming back for his glory. Okay? Know that. He's coming back for his glory. Okay? You know who's going to be second in command? King David is going to be second in command. Okay? Because the Lord is building up the tabernacle of David. And Yahushua is going to be at the top of that. Okay? Not the tabernacle of fucking Nate and all these niggas in IUIC. All right? The Lord is building up the tabernacle of David, man. And if you ain't a part of that, we making war against you, period. All right? When that time comes, you going to get your shit bashed the fuck in. All right? Point blank, period, man. All right? The games will stop and they're going to stop with power. All right? You got it.
Yeah, well, I got you, Shalom. King David said he hates all those that hate the Lord with a perfect hatred. You know. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep your cool when you think about these things. Especially when you ever seen like like you watch some of those slave movies like Roots. And these kinds of movies, and sometimes it'll bring tears to your eyes to see like the suffering that these people went through, which were really us. Because Jake have that natural empathetic side of you where sometimes you can't even help it. You just naturally feel bad because you're witnessing the atrocities that somebody's going through, right? Well, when you read the scriptures, there's certain parts in there where it sounds almost like the Most High is actually pleading, like when he's talking to Esdras, and I think First Ezra, the first chapter or so. When you listen to what he's saying to Esdras, it's like it makes you feel bad almost, because it's kind of like, damn, like the Lord is speaking. Like it's so bad that the Lord is speaking to one of His creations, almost as if like he's talking with a counselor, saying like, yo, do you got any ideas on what I can do better? I'm I'm a little perplexed here because I'm the creator of everything. I mean, I've done everything for these people, and yet they still. He said, while I was doing good for them, they turned and did evil. You cried on to me, so I came to help you. And while I'm helping you, you turn around to do evil. And then I'm like, all right, I still helped you anyway. You in the wilderness, you said you wanted this, I gave you this. You wanted this, I gave you this. I gave you a land of milk and honey. I gave you the best of the best. If I gave the heathens a fraction of what I gave you, they would have been righteous continually. And I gave you everything, and you motherfuckers still till this day don't appreciate it. You treat me like I'm shit. You go to a God that doesn't exist. Why would you go and worship an idol, a statue that just like this? It catches dirt, you got to clean it. And I'm here like, look, I can make it rain. I can make it snow. I can make this appear here. I can do all of this. You're saying, no, I'm going to go worship this idol. And the Lord is basically telling Ezra, like, yo, what more can I do? Like, just come back. And you know what? All the bullshit you've done against me, I'm going to forgive it. I'm going to forgive it. We're going to be all good. Just turn back. Like, what else you want me to do for you? And you feel bad because you're like, damn, like, y'all are really some actual demons. Like you've been able to stress out the actual creator. Like you've gotten to the point where you've been able to piss off the actual creator. What kind of demon from hell do you have to even like? I'm serious. Like yo, Satan himself don't stress out the Most High like that. But there was a meme that said that no, ain't nobody can piss you off more than somebody you love. It's like they just know how to hit a certain kind of nerve.
Yeah. Oh no, this is just going into the hard times that you were mentioning, like the weeping and gnashing of teeth coming to our people. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30, but it's in the GNT. I'll start at verse 4. It says, the Lord says to the people of Israel and Judah, I hear a cry of terror, a cry of fear and not of peace, right? It says, now stop and think. Can a man give birth to a child? Why then do I see every man with his hands on his stomach, like a woman in labor? Why is everyone so pale? A terrible day is coming. No other day can compare with it. A time of distress for my people, but they will survive. And that's going into Jacob's trouble. The day is the elect. So what? Jeremiah is saying here, but it's in the GNT. I see men with their hands on their stomachs like a woman, like a pregnant. Like, why do I see men like that? That's not the nature of a man to be in that type of position. So what type of fear is coming on a man that he's taking the position or like going into the position of a woman? Why do I see everybody looking pale, looking like, like them cartoons when they get scared and the ghost leaves them and the body gets white? Why do I see everybody looking like they're about to look lifeless? Like, what day is coming that's so great that's going to have you people looking like this? And he said, what? A terrible day is coming.
It's like if you're looking at somebody and all of a sudden their jaw just drops and they just like, and like you're looking at them and you're like you're saying like what is it? What is it? Why you just went speechless? Like you look like you about to die. What's going on?
Right, like in the poem where
yeah.
Like, what is it?
Yep. Like, and then you turn around, you see it. There you go. Yep.
Just read it again. It says, verse 7, a terrible day is coming. No other day can compare with it. A time of distress for my people, but they will survive.
I mean, say, like you said, many people it also uses the term Jacob's trouble. It says that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. I just wanted to mention the fact that the King James version is like more or less 45, and it says the son Jacob's trouble. The group understand the Bible that this is he's talking about Israel. He's talking about
Yeah, well, you had made reference to this earlier. 2 Ezra 1:27. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his sons?
Yeah. So the Lord is saying like you act like what you're doing hurts me. It's like you're in the class and you think that because you are mad at the professor, you not taking the test is gonna hurt him. He done already graduated. He's actually working. You need to pass the test so you can get a job. I'm mad at the landlord, so I ain't gonna pay rent. That's not gonna affect him. He's gonna kick you out and get somebody else to pay the rent. So the Lord is saying, you haven't forsaken me, you forsook yourself. Remember, you need me. The reason you're able to do anything is because of me. When you're in captivity, who'd you cry to? You cried to me, right? And you realize, oh shit, we need the Lord. And then I came and delivered you.
Time to see to get mad. I don't want you to be my dad no more.
Right.
All right. Yeah. It is what it is. You can feel that way. I'm still your father.
Yep.
What you gonna do about it?
Yep.
Cry about it. Go ahead. Go to bed, nigga.
Then they come back 2 hours later. Daddy, I have to wait. I thought you said you were with me.
Exactly. We know. 2 Ezra 1:28 again. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and as a nurse her young babes?
So he's pretty much been everything to us. The nurture of a mother, the instructions of a father, the care of a nurse, which is a nurse. A nurse is a woman that would, if you were in the ancient world, really even they have them today. But if you were a woman, you gave birth, you would have a nurse, which is a woman that has more experience, and she would help you deliver the baby. She would take care of the baby. She would shower the baby. She would do
The
all
midwives.
Midwives. There you go. Because a newborn, first off, a mother that just gave birth, number one, most of the time they're really inexperienced if it's their first child, and number two, they're still sore. They're still hurt. They need to heal. Yeah, so they need to be taken care of. And who's going to take care of the baby while they do that? So you need that nurse who's going to show them, okay, you do this, okay, you do that, okay, you do this. And in some cases too, the nurses would actually be with the mother from when she was even younger, and actually train her in the ways of how to be a woman. And then when she has a kid, she would also be there for her, like a second mother.
The young boys had a schoolmaster.
Yeah. Yep. So you see how there was always order in society. The men, the young boys, like you said, they would have tutors, schoolmasters, teach them. Because see, young men, especially in like noble households, they had different tutors for different things. Some would teach you how to actually have, be a proper gentleman, how to walk right, how to speak in the presence of who, You know how to eat when you at a dining table or whatever the case is. How to use the different materials like manners. Some will teach you actual subject, different languages, you know, arithmetic, all of these things. So that way you are well rounded in all of these things. That's what so-called school today is supposed to do. But it really fails at that.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that because public schools today, what is it? It's just a den of just a whole bunch of bullshit. You go to school and you just chasing ass. You're not really caring about your school. Then even college is even worse. That's just a whole bunch of just going to what they even show you the chug, all that type of stuff. Some man's daughters getting, pardon my language, getting dick down every damn week. All that type of crack cocaine, all that type of stuff. She ain't going there to learn nothing.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, she getting drilled down like drill music.
Yeah.
Sorority, shit like that.
The Kappa, Gamma, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
These dumbasses don't even know what's it about. They have no idea of Greek history at all. But they be the first ones to jump up in here. And they'll tell you gotta shave your head bald. You gotta for the initiation, you gotta do some wild shit.
Shit. Initiation, like you said, amazing. Yeah, how your ass they'll violate you. You know, that's part of the secrets that they have when these people get into the industries as early actors and actresses or entertainers. They got files on you. You know what I mean? They got receipts on you from that college party or when you were being initiated, what you had to do. You know, that's what they be talking about.
And you gotta ask yourself, wait a minute. Well, what kind of group is this if this is what the initiation is? If this is the initiation, what the hell is behind those doors? Weird ass niggas.
Oh, I was just gonna mention as well. They showed you that in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't know if you ever seen that episode when Will and Carlton were in college and they wanted to get to sorority, and they was harder on Carlton because Carlton came from a much better upbringing than Will. Will was from the streets and they resonated with Will, right? The group leader. But Carlton, he lived with his rich father and things like that. So Carlton lived with his rich father, so the leader didn't like that, so he was a lot more harder on Carlton and put Carlton to rigorous stuff, and then even at the end, even after all the stuff Carlton did, still didn't accept it.
Science and hidden mysteries like secret knowledge of Illuminati and shit like that. They don't want you to be going to church or going to forget it. If they got any thought that you are from, per se, what we believe in, they ain't even gonna think you up. I mean, they gonna look 20, 30 years in your past to see who you is right now as an individual before they realize that they not gonna mess with you. You know what I'm saying? They be having like certain pedigrees that they select, like the weak-minded and the nerds in school and shit. They get to college and they'll snatch them right up. Probably like me, they hear one sentence from me, they like, oh hell no, I'm straight off the list.
Now, before we keep going on there, let's get this real quick. Because like Haran mentioned earlier, this is the importance of the Lord having us out here. We're really the last chance that this world has. We're like the Silver Surfer, preparing the planet for the Lord's return. But we're really the last chance because we're like the Lord threw us out there like a life raft. Because you had people drowning, and He threw us out there so those that are of the elect could grab onto it and be able to pull back up from under the water. And that's why it says that He set us forth last. Because we're coming out and we're giving you like a breath of fresh air. All the things that you might have thought, but nobody else was there to confirm it or to explain it to you. So I've had many people tell me that. When you explain certain things in the scriptures, they'll say, I always had a question about that, but I just never got answers. So I just said, whatever. If I asked in church, they told me that I'm thinking too much. I'm going to go crazy. Like you tell them, okay, hold on a second. How is it that Adam and Eve is just one man and one woman and you have the whole world? Oh, no cap, bro. I was dead thinking that. But like, I never had no answers because the pastor doesn't know himself. And he's not going to make him look like a fool while he's on stage. But we'll come and tell you, wait a minute, this is why. We got the answers for you. So that's why the Most High sent us.
How the king get away.
Yeah, how did Cain get a wife? She grew out the ground. Go on.
This is Romans 10 and 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
And this is talking about amongst Israelites. Okay, go on. And
Huh?
you know what's you know what's very interesting about this? The name of the Lord is not Jesus, it's not Jehovah, it's not Christ. The name of the Lord is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. But now, here's an interesting thing. Even that name alone, the majority of the world doesn't want to call on that name. So they want to run to this priest that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. The majority of people don't want to call on the name of the Lord. And then even the ones who know the name of the Lord, they don't want to call on the name of the Lord. And then the ones that do call on the name of the Lord, some of them, they don't fit the criteria. So really, this eliminates everybody but the elect. Go on.
How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?
So you ain't gonna call somebody you haven't believed. You don't know who this person is. You can't call on, if you don't know. We weren't calling on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We believed in the higher power, but I mean honestly, we didn't really know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. If you've really noticed, when you're in the truth, you actually get to know the Lord. Meaning, you start to learn the characteristics of the Most High. You start to see, yeah, Yahweh Shai is austere, but he's also very merciful and loving. There's certain things that really, really tick the Lord off, and then there's certain things that really please the Lord. And you first read about it, and then you actually start to experience it in your real life. You'll notice there's certain times you feel like the presence of the Lord is very near unto you. Certain times you feel hyped up in the spirit. Certain things you pray for, the Lord will answer quick. Certain things you pray for, the Lord won't even answer right away. Certain things you pray for, and you get, you're like, nah, I shouldn't have prayed for that. So you start to learn how the Lord is and how his relationship is with you. Because remember, the Lord deals differently with everybody. Don't let them fool you in the churches and tell you God loves everybody equally. That is a big ass lie. Okay? That is a damn lie. The Lord deals with people differently. The way the Lord dealt with Daniel is different than how he dealt with other people. And he let it be known. When the Lord came down and spoke to Daniel, he said, a man greatly beloved. He said the second you started making supplication, the order was given. Hey, go down there and service him, whatever he needs. Okay? And there's certain people that the Lord will say, yeah, I care about them, but I'll get back to them. Go ahead.
And how shall they believe in him
You listen to me.
of whom they have not heard?
Right. How are they gonna believe in who they have not heard? You can't believe in something you've never heard about. And that's why when you tell somebody about the truth, you tell somebody about the Lord, they first need to learn on the Lord. They're not going, the second you tell them, they're gonna turn around. They gotta build up to it. Because believing in the Lord is more than just calling on the name of the Lord. Believing in the Lord means that, okay, if I believe in the Lord, that means that I'm gonna come out here and teach, because I believe that the Lord said, if I come out here and teach, he's gonna bless me with a reward.
2 Corinthians 4:13. But we continue to preach because we have the same kind of faith the psalmist had when he said, I believed in God, so I spoke.
Ooh, I believed in God, so I spoke. There you go. So believing is not just words, it's action. What did the Apostle James say? Show me your faith without thy works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. Because faith without works is dead. Right? What?
Okay.
There's a saying, words are only words until they're action. If I say, yo, I'm gonna do this for you, it's just words until I actually do it. That's when it actually becomes something. You don't build a reputation off of just words. Actually, maybe you do. You build a reputation as just somebody who caps. This guy always says he's gonna do this, but he never does it. But if you're somebody who says something and you actually stick to your words, you build a reputation based on your action. And that's where people actually revere you. Go on.
Romans 10 and 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard?
Yeah, you can't believe in somebody you've never heard about. Go on.
And how shall they hear without a preacher?
Yeah, and that's why you need teachers. So the preachers are the prophets. And they're the ones who are here to introduce you to the Lord. They got to introduce you back to the Lord. Because the Lord came to the preachers, to the prophets. He said, hey, this is me. Like Moses, Abraham. The Lord came to them because they were the patriarchs, the founders, the beginning. So the Lord came to them and said, hey, this is who I am. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Go and do it. And then now they went to the people to go and say, okay, the Lord sent me. I came in the Lord's stead to do X, Y, and Z. So now the people can go to the Lord. Okay. So that right there says that how can you believe without hearing? And how can you hear without a preacher? Somebody has to come and inform you. Somebody has to come and tell you, hey, you got to go and do this, man. You got to stop what you're doing over there. I don't know what you think that is. What's that about? Go on.
Verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent?
Yeah. Anybody can't just get up and go ahead and start preaching because they're going to be teaching nonsense. You got to be sent, and when you're sent, the Lord is not just going to send. It's like when you need them people from Verizon or cable to come and set something up for you. When the company sends them, they don't just say take a taxi and go over there and like flip flops in your PJs. No, they send them well equipped. They send them with the tools. They send them with the box. They send them with the actual knowledge of how to do their job. They'll prepare the person before they go ahead and send the person over there to go and do the job. So when the person gets to your house, they know what they need to do, and they're equipped with all the things they need in order to do that job. So when the Lord sends you to go and teach, what did he first tell Ezekiel? Eat this roll, and then go and teach the nation of Israel. So he's going to prepare you, and then he's going to send you. That's when you're a qualified preacher. Not just because you saw what was going on, you like what it looked like, so you try to mimic it. Like the sons of Siva.
The word preach is really means to prophesy, because when they think of preach, they think of like, okay, well, you going and giving a motivational speech. No, the word preach, and if I made the etymology real quick on preach, it says to preach, give a sermon, deliver a sermon, proclaim the gospel, to proclaim publicly, predicat, which is basically like prediction. To preach, to say it before is essentially what it means. It says before, forward, decade. So basically, preach means to say before, which is basically the same as the word prophesy. So they can't be talking about, well, you got preachers in the Christian church, but they don't know prophecy. They're not real preachers. They're just motivational speakers.
This is a precept that they ought to put on there concerning the point I was making earlier. 2 Samuel 7:18 in the NLT. It says, then King David went in and sat before the Lord Yahweh and prayed, who am I, O sovereign Lord, and what is my family that you have brought me this far? And now, sovereign Lord, in addition to everything else, you speak of giving your servant a lasting dynasty. Do you deal with everyone this way, O sovereign Lord? So that's going to show you that the Most High don't deal with. If that was the case, why did only King David get that promise of an everlasting throne? You know, why we can all go put in our claims. Well, Lord, you love us all equally. So if King David got one, then I want one too. You know, and what about me? Oh, me too. That's not how it works. You know, the Most High doesn't deal with everybody that way. What you gonna say? What did Paul say? Who are you to reply against the Creator? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Hey, technically, we do get to sit on the throne if we're joint heirs with Yahushai. We get that, because he did it for us, so we can get it too.
That's
So
it.
he got it. And he's like, Lord, do it for them too. Let them join me. Hey, the water,
They were there from the beginning. They were the day one.
That's it. That's it.
You
That's
know,
it.
like when you first start school, you make that first friend. That's your day one. You guys make it through college and shit. High school. You're like, yeah, that's my day one. Yeah. Where were we?
That's
it. So you brought up the definition of a preacher.
Yeah.
So a preacher is not just somebody that gets up and says, "All right, I'm gonna go preach. I'm gonna go do what these guys are doing." Right? I rebuke you in the name of the Yahweh Shai that Paul teaches. Who the hell are you? You don't have authority. When you get a job, right? Depending on where you work, when they plug you into the system, they give you access. Like maybe you need a key card to get to certain places. They give you authorization and they give you access. So not just anybody can come in and then boop, they just scan in and they get to go where they want to go. No, you need to have access, and that needs to be given to you by whoever is in the company wherever you work, right? So same thing. When we're coming out here to do this job, the Lord has already given us the authority to come in and to do this work. In order for the Spirit of the Lord to deal with you, you need to have been granted that authority from the heavens. You can't just get up here and just start doing whatever you want to do. What we teach actually is through the Spirit of the Lord. So if you are just somebody that just comes out here doing what they want, The spirit gonna come and say, nope, access denied, pull back. Demons, get on him. And then he's done. And then eventually you bug out. Because you were never really meant to be here to begin with, brother. Go ahead.
Romans 10 and 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent, as it is written? How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace.
Yeah, it's like the elder said, right? That's what Korah was trying to do. It's like if you went to Foot Locker, you've been feeding for these new sneakers that came out, and you go there and you're like, all right, let me get those Air Force Ones. The person comes back to you with some I don't know, some Harachis. You're like, well, no, I want the Air Force. What you mean? Nah, take the Harachis. That's all right. They can do the same thing. They'll cover your feet. They got laces. They got soles in them. And then they try to sell you some shit you didn't come for. You're going to tell them, no, I specifically want those right there. That's the one I want. Why are you trying to give me this? This isn't the one I want. That's what happens when you think you're going to come up in here and the Lord has specifically assigned certain people to do certain things. You're going to come up in there and try to change the Lord's decision. Nah. I'm the man now, you know? And that's what, like I said, that's what Korah was trying to do. Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. What happened to them? The earth opened up and swallowed them. And that was the end of them. And now they're remembered, but not for what they probably wanted to be remembered for. They thought they were going to be the guys who came up. They didn't learn from what happened with Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. They didn't learn from that. When they eat, because they were Moses' family. And the Lord was dealing with them too. But when they tried to come up against Moses, they saw the side of the Lord that said, all right, let me back up. You know? And this guy thought, no, I'm going to crop up in here too. I'm the man. All right. But now you notice, and in the kingdom, guess what? You're going to read about yourself. Because you're going to know who you are. You're going to have that remembrance. Oh, fuck. I was watching this TV show where basically it deals with reincarnation. And there's a scene in there where like 1,000 years later, like in the previous scene, you had a warrior, a king, and his sister, but she don't matter. So it was the warrior and the king basically set up the warrior so he could be put to death. But then the warrior ended up coming. So long story short, the king did the warrior dirty. And then the warrior ended up surviving. He ended up living for like a 900 years or so. And later on, he ends up meeting that king in another lifetime, in a reincarnation. But he didn't recognize him as the king from that previous time. Because he'd been looking for that king for revenge for the longest. And so basically he ends up finding the king, and then eventually it gets revealed to him that this is the guy who did all that shit back then. But what the point here is that the king himself got his memories back of what he did in the previous life. And he was messed up. He was messed up to the point where he actually wanted the guy to take revenge on him. Because the sorrow he was feeling, the guilt he was feeling by remembering what he actually did in the past, when he actually got his memories back, they said it was a punishment. Because he was going to have to remember the shit he did in his past life. So when you actually remember, damn, I was one of those. I was Korah. Oh my gosh. Like, at least let me have been Dathan, who was just following Korah. I was like the ringleader, trying to come against the authority that the Lord set up. You know, it's not going to be a fun thing to remember, man, in the kingdom. Judas, Saul, man, you don't want to, because you're actually etched in history. It'll always be remembered that Judas betrayed Yahushua. It'll always be remembered that Korah, Dathan, and Abiram came against Moses. In fact, there's actually references of them by us, by the prophets, and the Apostle Paul. They made references. Oh, don't be like these people. Like, that's the example. That's your face right there. So when they remember you, oh, so who are you, Daddy? Who are you in the past life? No, we don't talk about that. All right, we don't talk about that. Don't bring that up now. All right, go read your books. I need some drink. You know what? That's how you remember. You gonna be like, damn, man. Here it is. Yeah, every time your Howard Shah come through, you gonna feel like damn, that's your Howard Shah. But like, damn, like I was one of those who said, crucify him. It's like when you do somebody dirt and they forgive you, but every time you're around them, you feel guilty because you're like, damn, you don't want to be seen. You want to be in the back somewhere. You don't want to look, man. You don't want to be in the most glorious kingdom ever made, and this is the way you're feeling. Come on, man. Nah, dog. I'm trying to enjoy the kingdom. We've been laboring all this while for the kingdom to come, just so you can feel bad? No. I wanna see the beauty of the terrain. I wanna take that fresh air. I wanna exhale. I know we don't deserve it, but you know what? We got a good conscience to like it anyway. I wanna drink that yayan with Yahushai, and I wanna be able to laugh with Yahushai. I don't wanna be there and then the second the Lord comes, like, damn. Yeah, like I lose my appetite. I don't want to drink no more because I feel bad. No, dog. We stood firm for you, Lord. That's us. Yeah, that's us. You know what I mean? You know, whatever you need, we'll do it. We'll do it. I like this. I like that.
Not John the Baptist was the plate of fish.
Yeah. Imagine that. And you see him in a high authority. And you like, damn, I called, damn.
I see John the Baptist in the kingdom. You see Elijah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the fish, huh?
Yeah, right. he might joke around with you like that. Yeah, but you don't feel it. You know?
Oh no, what is it? It's June. That I'm telling you. I remember talking to you about it. I'm telling you that is going to be a joke in the kingdom. I don't if he makes it or not. I'm telling you that will be a joke in the kingdom. I swear to God it will.
Every time June comes around.
Yeah, that month come around. So brother, it's June. I'm telling you that will be a theme song.
Yeah. You know? But ultimately, man, you wanna labor hard so that when the reward comes, you can enjoy it with a good conscience. You know, you don't want to have gone through all this, especially to have been somebody that labored and then fell out right at the last minute. To know that you were so close, like in the kingdom, you'll remember, like, yo, you were so close, like you were actually in the company of these men, and then you turned around and you started cursing out these men. The same people that taught you, you turned around and you came against them, treated them like, you know, you referred to them with disrespect. Meanwhile, guess what? They were doing the right thing. They were doing the work of the Lord, and you hated them because of that, because you got your feelings hurt because they try to correct you, or whatever the case may be. You know, that's when you're gonna get that clarity. Like, damn, my priorities were really messed up, because priority should have been doing the work of the Lord. But whatever the difference is, if I don't like this person, you know what? I wouldn't even just come around you. How about that? I'm just, you go your way, I'm gonna go my way. But the priority is, let me keep doing the work of the Lord, because whether I like you or not does not have anything to do with the kingdom of heaven. Absolutely nothing. You curse me out on live, I got my feelings hurt, I got videos done on me. Guess what? That has nothing to do with the kingdom of heaven. Because whether you did 10 or 20 videos on me, what's gonna get me out there is if I keep doing the work or if I don't. Not how many videos you did on me and how many counter videos I did to try and defend myself. The Lord ain't coming back to say, oh, I like the way you cleared your name, so let me deliver you because of that. No, he's gonna say, yo, where my works at? Where my talents at? Oh Lord, cause they started coming against me. He told me I was some wicked nigga and I did this, that, but that was in the past, you know, because the law says, the Lord's looking at you as, did you hear my question? Where are my talents? Yo, throw this thing in the fire, man. You know, that's it. Because Yahushua is not coming to talk. Remember, he's a judge. Remember that Yahushua now has the power. He has the authority. It's all been committed to him. So he's going to tell you, you want to talk? You should have spoken with my representatives. Those are the ones who talk. I don't talk. I'm coming to do the action. I'm the judge. The talking is for the lawyers and the witnesses and stuff. When I talk, it's to give the verdict. You know, boom, I'm here. Judgment, deliverance, judgment, deliverance, judgment, deliverance. And then he keeps moving. That's how a king moves. And that's when they're going to realize, man, you know, like the same, like this is the same Yahushua that we were talking all that shit about. You know, because that's one thing about Jake is that, like, until you actually see something, you don't see the magnitude of it. When you actually see the chariot of the Lord coming and your bones start shaking inside of you, you're going to realize, yo, this is the Yahushua. And you know what else you're going to remember? You could call him Yo Play Yogurt. Yahushua. You know that mockery that they did? You're going to remember all of that. And you're going to put the image to the face. And then you're going to understand the fear of the Lord.
I think he specifically said he scorns when he hears that name. You know, he's like, I'm like, whoa, easy, buddy. Get the demons off of you, man. Stop playing.
That's crazy, yo. And that's the name you got to call on to be delivered. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. That's crazy, man. Let's keep going.
I was gonna
Oh,
mention it's also gonna be worse for like people like Brother Polite that shot up the Bible. That same thing that was for you, like we were going into earlier, that Yahushua died for you and things like that. You shot up the book. Pretty much, nigga, he is the book, so it's like you pretty much shot up him. Yeah. To hell with him is what you said.
And now you in jail, catching hell. The Lord ain't delivering you then. He put you in there so you can learn a lesson.
Drop the soul.
Go ahead.
And bring glad tidings of good things.
Yeah, so we bring glad tidings. But really, the glad tidings are to those that are of the elect. That's why we always say that, because, I mean, we can come and tell, when we come and we preach the words to you, only the elect are going to receive it as glad tidings. That's why they always tune in. That's why they're edified. Oh, yeah, that was beautiful. Oh, yes, Brakatah Shem Shai. The rest, they're going to be like, nah, these guys, they hate. And wait. Unless you have never hated anyone or anything in your life, you can't come and talk about hate. Okay? Because here it is. You hate. Matter of fact, you hate me. So what the hell are you talking about? These guys are hate. We got to get them off the streets. We got to seek them wherever they are. And we got to destroy them. Isn't that kind of sound like hate? The same thing that you're preaching against? You're going to use hate to take out hate. That kind of sounds like hypocrisy, no? We don't like hate. I hate people that hate. Wait, what? You know, that's how they move. Demons. There's some more than that.
Verse 16. But they have not all obeyed the gospel, for Isaiah saith, Lord, who have believed our report?
Yeah, they have not all obeyed the gospel. So not everybody has believed it, but that's because the Most High set it up that way. And that's a beautiful thing. See, this ain't the more the merrier. Really, this is the less the merrier. So once that set number is sealed, that's it. What makes it special is that not everybody can see it, especially not at the same time. So when the Lord opens this thing up, you're going to start to see, like, you know, all the benefits that are going to come to those that labored. People are going to be wondering, yo, how come y'all are always, you know, like, you guys are good. When Jacob's trouble hit, y'all were good. When the deliverance came, you got beamed up. You know, you were part of the first fruits. Well, that's because we were laboring. You know, and the thing is, we were created to actually do this. And that's why when we do this, it feels natural. We don't have a problem doing the work of the Lord. It's something that we do. Everybody has their lot, but this is our lot. And we thank the Lord that he made us this way, where our lot is to be his go-to people to serve the Lord, you know, directly. So whenever the Lord needs something, he'll put the spirit on you and you go and do it. Hey, that's a very high position, man. Any other precepts, brother? Any precepts?
Yeah, I got a couple, real quick, and then we could close it out with that. All right, and going back to the point that you made about how the Lord chose basically the meek of this world or this earth to bring down or to confound the wise and the mighty. Okay, I believe the Apostle Paul also talks about that. But in the book of Baruch chapter 3 and verse 26, it says, "There were the giants famous from the beginning, that were of so great stature and so expert in war. Those did not the Lord Yahweh choose, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them, but they were destroyed because they had no wisdom, and perished through their own foolishness." And that's what you're seeing today. All right, a lot of these people are looked at as giants in this world because they're worshipped, they're put on that pedestal. Guess what? The Lord said they're going to what? They're going to perish through their own foolishness. Okay, because they don't know Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They actually mock the name that's deemed the only way of to salvation. All right, Acts 4 and 12, that there's what? There's no name under the heaven given among men whereby we shall be saved. Okay, and that name is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, but we're going to close it out with this. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 21 and 22. It says, "Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord," and that's exactly what we're doing, "and he shall deliver you from the power and the hand of the enemies." All right, and exactly the persecution that we're about to face, the Lord said he's going to deliver us from the same. What's that? Revelation 3 and 10. All right. Verse 22, it says, "For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai." All right. So that's what we're looking forward to, man. We're looking for that everlasting salvation, all right. And Lord willing, we make the first cut. That's really what this is all about. And then our enemies are gonna get put to shame. And as the Lord said, we gonna see their destruction, and we're gonna tread upon their necks. All right, and that's power, and that's what we can't wait for. All right. So I'm gonna leave it off there. You can close it out with that. The water, Yahweh Shemi Al Shai, Yahweh Shemi Al Shai, Barakatam to you, brothers, and to the rest of you sincere sisters watching as well. All right, and to the elect, Shalom, Yahweh Shemi Al Shai, Barakatam.
That's it. Brother, anything else?
Yeah, one last little part. 2 Corinthians 4, if I may,
All right.
real quick. 2 Corinthians 4 and 11. Yes, and this is an NLT. Yes, we live under constant danger of death because we serve Yahweh Shai, so that the life of Yahweh Shai will be evident in our dying bodies. So we live in the face of death, but this has resulted in eternal life for you. Go through all these things, we go through all these afflictions, all this tribulation, ultimately for the elect's sake. You see us in this mortal flesh and these weak bodies. We have our own afflictions, our own personal struggle, but yet the Lord still has a spirit on us to come out and preach, because that's Yahweh Shai, the life of Yahweh Shai being shown through us, so that you can receive eternal life. Those of you out there that are of the household of faith.
But I was gonna say, you're seeing what Yahweh Shah was about through us, because it's working through us. How serious, how dedicated he was. This is not of us, this is of Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. So what you're seeing working through us is seeing what he was about, how serious, how austere, how always about, like he always mentioned, I must be about my father's business, my father, my father, my father.
But we continue to preach because we have the same kind of faith the psalmist had when he said, I believed in the Most High, so I spoke. We know that the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, well, it says the Most High, who raised the Lord Yahweh Shai, will also raise us with Yahweh Shai and present us to himself together with you. Yeah, so just as Yahweh Shai was raised up, then we're going to be raised up when the Lord returns. We're going to receive eternal life. Lord's will, we're of that number. To close out, all of this is for your benefit. And as the Most High's grace reaches more and more people, there will be great thanksgiving, and the Most High will receive more and more glory. So it's all about the glorification of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. This is why we constantly preach these names. This is why we constantly rinse, repeat, do the same thing. Lord's will next week will be doing the same thing. So long as the Lord has the Spirit on us, we're going to continue to do this. It's all about the glorification of the name Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Right. Good. Glory. All right. So with that, beautiful precepts, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakak, Wadash. So next time, Shalom.